Okay guys, just popping up the plot. Got to grab a few vegetables. Shallots, carrots, probably courgettes. And I'll have a look at the peas to see if they've dried up enough yet to harvest. So I'm really there, just round the corner. Here we are then. Get out of that flying rats, get out of it. Pigeon pie. That'll scare them off. Alright guys, like I said, up the plot. Got a bit of harvesting to do. I'm not going to set the camera up because it will take me ages to move the tripod around everywhere. So I'm going to use the drone, or have a go at using the drone. And this is the last time you'll ever see any drone footage from me. In fact, it's the last time you'll see any footage from any DJI equipment. I am so fed up with it failing all the time. It cuts out, it starts, it stops recording, the focus. Anyway, I've had enough of it. So I've sold the drone, I've sold my DJI Osmo Pocket 3. So it's back to good old faithful Canon equipment and my Samsung phone. And from the fact that I'm doing a voiceover, you can probably tell that the DJI mic failed. So here I am picking some shallots. The first lot are Ambition. The ones in the middle are Zebrun. Oh, the last lot at the top end, Matador. Lovely little hole there. All of these are a little bit too big for pickling, really. They're single bulb shallots, so they don't, they don't clove up, if you like a garlic. But they are great for cooking with, especially the Zebrun. And the Zebrun, the whole packet from Real Seeds didn't germinate. The ones from DT Brown did, and that's what I harvested. Just refreshing the bed with the last of my Atlantic seaweed meal, granules if you like, and some Q4 professional powder. And I'm just scratching it in for now because I don't know when I'll be back to plant the purple sprouting. No point wasting water, is there? Grabbing a few of the carrots. I think these are Gladios. Show them to the camera, Steve. Last chance. Yeah, lovely. A lovely carrot. Really nice. And some runner beans. All sorts on here. These are actually my exhibition long beans. So they're quite tasty, actually. I've been giving so many of these away. You can't believe it. Oh, all right, guys. Well, that's the shallots lifted. They're at home drying now. So I'm just going to put in these purple sprouting. No idea what variety it is, because I bought them on eBay because mine did not grow. So I'm just going to dig a little hole and poke them in. Give the hole a good soaking first. I can find those. Stood on it, Steve-o. There we are. Let's get the spray pattern right. There we are. Nice and firm brassicas. See, it's had a good soaking, but it's still a bit dry underneath. I'll show you when we get a bit closer this end. It's damp, but not damp enough. Yeah. And you saw me, well, the other day probably, if I get the video right, put some Q4 and Atlantic Garden seaweed granules. See, that's nice and damp. That's weird, isn't it? This is a mix of compost in here, mine, so... Could be that, some bits are more water retentive than the other bits. Yeah, I've never been a big fan of purple sprouting, as you probably know. I've always said it takes up too much space for too little return. But now I've got two plots. I don't think it's going to matter that much. Well, there we are then. 6 purple sprouting in. Time to get going. Need some rain, that's for sure. Oh, you're right, guys, up the plot. Lost the plot, more like. I need some potatoes, and I want to put some cabbages in where the potatoes come from. I'm going to take them out of straw bales, not out the buckets. I'll do that, and I've just seen the corn might be ready for picking as well, so I might take a couple of cobs of that. We'll have a walk around after, I think. It's looking very green. Yeah, all right, let's get on with it. It's going to be a bit awkward to see, I think. I'll tell you what, I just noticed that everything's covered in blooming acucha from last year. So I've just got this bit clear. These are the Charlottes. Yeah, that's one there. I'm going to get rid of them. Didn't like them last year, so I'm pretty sure I won't like them this year, so I'm not going to save any. Right, like I said, this is Charlotte, so let's see how we go, eh? Nice start. That's not a Charlotte, that's a pink fir apple. Now, I haven't put any pink fir apple in these beds. Isn't that weird? Not at all. In fact, I'm not even sure if I had any. That's another one. What's going on here then? Well, that's it for that plant. Ah, I wonder if it's come from underneath in the soil. Yeah, there's something growing up the side here, look. That's what it is. Good old detective work. And they're growing up the gap between the 2 bales. And that's another one. That's an Apache. Oh, blimey heck. That's a bonus, isn't it? Well, I'll tell you what, guys, I am surprised at what's going on here. I think that's the bulk of them. Maybe not. There we are. I'm going to leave the rest because that'll be a nice surprise for next year, and that's good start. Well, let's get back onto the Charlottes, wherever they are. Here we go. I can't remember how many I planted now. I think it was 3. Looks like this one's done better than the other 2. Loads in here. Look at this straw, isn't it lovely? Look at that. Yeah, I reckon that's it, you know, guys. I think I just did the 3. Right then. I'm going to go sort these. Oh, hang on. Yeah, that's about it. I'll go sort these out on the water trough, and I'll get back to you in a bit. But I'm going to get the, while I'm here, while I've got the camera set up, I'm going to get these cabbages in. The difference with the straw now and earlier in the year, I mean, before you couldn't put your hand in it and it was cutting my fingers, and now, well, it's like compost. So what I got here, I just got some Savoy, bought these off a geezer on eBay, because again my seedlings failed. So weird. There we are. Don't know if I'll get 5 in there, but we'll give them a go. I don't mind if they're a bit small. Like I said before, I'd rather have 5 small ones than a couple of big ones, you know. There's only me, for heaven's sake. So, and I don't want to end up with a cabbage in the fridge just in case I use it next week, sort of thing. You know, yeah, I get 2 in there. There should be 6. Now, I write on my pots, as you know, Savoy. And I made a mistake, see, I put PSB, purple sprouting broccoli and Savoy. And I did that on a couple, and I realised, and when I planted that bed over there, I must have put a Savoy in, because I went to pick these 6 up at home, and one of them is labelled PSB. So we'll have a surprise, won't we? Right, that's them in. Go and get my watering can. Back in a bit. I do. Right, find a bit of netting. Just keep the pigeons off, that's all this is for. Not too worried about butterflies, because you can always pick the eggs off and the caterpillars. There we are, a bit long, but I don't think the cabbages will mind. That'll do. Right. Yeah, we got time to have a look around, I reckon. Okay then, over by the watering trough, watering station thingy. These are the bales from last year that I've left. The 2 at the front there, doing all right. Lavender in the front. We've got orange bomb, nasturtiums, there's some ochre in there. A Swiss chard, ochre again in the ones behind. Swiss chard, and the corn is Chinese white that Ali sent me over in Canada land. Just picked one of those, so I'll show you in a second. At the base of the corn we got some more chard. I'm saving that. I was going to pick it today, but I've got a few recipes to do. But what I'm going to do with that is pickled chard stems. So that should be interesting. More bales left from last year. Beetroot in there, a mix of red ace and bona. And the odd onion sprinkled in between. Cabbages or brassicas, calabrese, kale, that one there, that kale there is now, it's growing better than the other one. That's emerald ice, and that's frosty something or other, that one there, frosty bite. Been recommended to me, so we'll see how they go, eh? More calabrese along here. Now, here's where I just picked the potatoes from, and you can see, look at that. That vining thing is everywhere and all over the sweet wave peas as well. That's the acucha from last year. And that's just grown everywhere. It's growing everywhere, so I'm ripping that out as I find it. Yeah, 3 more lots of potatoes. We've got Condor, Java and Apache over there. Sweet wave peas have all but finished now. A few more pods still drying off on the vines, so I'll be taking those later. Peas are finished there, inundated with borage. Climbing beans, we got Blue Lake this side, and I'm just letting the rest of those dry now. So many blooming weeds in there. That's a bloody fat hen again. Yeah, I'm letting those ones dry this side, like here. Just see them. Those ones there. And the other side, we got Borlotti beans, obviously those pretty red ones. And the far end, it is pea beans over there, those little fat things in the pods there. I'm saving those for seeds again. That L-Star apple tree, absolutely delicious apples. I've had half a dozen off it this year. First year of cropping, really. Nothing from the blackcurrants. I told you before, nothing from the blackcurrants, so I'm not sure what to do about those. A couple of squashes here. The one nearest me, which is disappearing amongst the, what corn are these? Golden Bantam. That is a Gallodicene, but that one there is the Dill's Atlantic Giant. That's one for the competition thingy, the challenge. I got to sort this borage out. Nice as it is, yeah. It's the dead bed here. This is the pile. This is just going to let it rot down, let the wildlife enjoy themselves, and sort it out next year. Now here's the brassicas I planted last week. So one of the purple sprouting in there is a Savoy cabbage. Loads of Brussels sprouts in there. We got some Calabrese as well, Komodo, Dartmoor Brussels, Roxton Brussels, Evesham Special Brussels, and Brodie Brussels. Runner beans. Now I'm going to leave these now because these here are pretty safely going to be just the one type of runner bean, and that is Enorma Elite, and I have had loads off this. In fact, I think every channel on YouTube's had loads, you know what I mean? Yeah, now I put a few squashes in here, and this one is growing out onto the path. Can you see that amongst the hose pipe? That's Uchiki Curry and a thistle. There's a few more in there somewhere, but they're not really doing anything, so I'm just leaving them to it. Let them get on with life. Oh, there's one over there, sorry, I lie. One down there, and that's the last one along. That is, so I can read my small writing. Now it's a Uchiki Curry. I planted two of them. There we are. See, even with my blooming crib sheets, I still get it wrong. A couple more buckets here, potatoes. Charlottes planted in the Digwell Stout method. Now, some of them were poking out the top of the straw, so what I've done, I just chucked some nasturtiums over the top to stop them going green. Oh, there we are then. That's plot 26 from the top, looking down on it. There's quite a lot in there, isn't there? It's only 6 by 13 metres, so there's quite a fair... It's quite a bit. I could probably maximise the space a bit more, but it's okay for now. Well, here we are with the potatoes then. Pink fir apple, a volunteer, and that is incredible, absolutely incredible. I don't even remember planting pink fir apple there. I have to go and check last year's sheet. Maybe it was in the compost. No, I didn't put any compost down because I used straw bales. That is so weird. There's one of Ali's Chinese white corn. That is pretty impressive. That's a fair old size, that. Ooh. I ain't got big hands anyway, but what's that, 8 inches? I'll strip it down when I get home. I'll do it now, hang on. Here we are. That's a fair old size, isn't it? And let's just pop my finger in. You can see this with the bit white, but oh yeah, that's all milky, look. See it on my thumbnail there. Cool. Anyway, there's the Charlottes. Not a great harvest, but I can't remember the potatoes I put in. But they'll do for me this weekend because I'm having a stew. And an Apache, God knows where that came from. It amazes me. Right, down the bottom plot. Okay then, down the bottom plot, the frog and toad plot. Where shall we start? I know, let's start there. Start the beans, because that's where the camera's pointing. 4 different types of runner beans on the gallows, and they have been doing so well this year. Been a great year for beans. I'm leaving a few of these to dry up now. Like these older ones, you can tell they're getting old because they're getting a bit red. But the younger ones I'm still taking. I'll take some of these in a minute actually after I've finished filming. Just round behind the beans, the wood pile. Lovely white buddy are just going over now. Rhubarb, a little bit of corn that's doing not very well at all. Asparagus and a dock leaf, that'll be coming out as soon as possible. Right, the first tomato bale. I think it's a call them what you want type bed, this one. I ain't got a clue what they are. That one there looks like it could be Rebel Starfighter Prime. Now the little red ones, I'm not sure about those. No, don't know. We got Cherokee Carbon and Indigo Pear Drops. Well, that's about it. That's all I recognise. Oh dear me. Those peppers are doing well there. That's Palermo. And I got some turnips in there, purple top and purple top, 2 lots of purple top. Let's have a look in the middle a minute. Hang on, there's a pepper in there somewhere. I think that's going over now, yeah. I might take one of these turnips. They both in 2 seconds, talk amongst myself. No, a bit too small yet. And the basket of fire is going over, so I'll take that out. A bit more successful, this tomato bed. The 4 at that end are San Marzano. And I've had a few of those, and I'm saving a few as seed for now. But we'll be cooking with those very soon. And the flame, these 2 at the front, wow, they are bulking up nicely, look. So can't wait for that one. Just behind there we got the octagonal bed with, God, it's hard work reading all this, you know, guys. Yeah, we got some red cabbage in there, we got the sweet potato, banana in the middle, another red cabbage there, but I haven't written it down, so I ain't got a clue what that is. This is one of those straw beds in a raised bed. Loads of carrots around the outside, loads of different types of beans in the middle. And again, I'm saving these for seed this year. I might pick the odd one or 2, but in fact, which one is that? Let's have a look. Yeah, they're orca beans. I mean, I might pick some of those actually. No, I'm going to save them. Next one along, another brassica bed. I'm going to get those borage out. They're going to go mad like the last one. I've left the old ones in to die, and the new ones are growing quite well, so not too bad. They are all sorts in here. Calabrese, Green Magic, Parthenon, and a dead Tromboncino. Tromboncino did nothing this year. Raspberries at the end are on the trellis, absolutely terrible. Blueberry bed, terrible. Nice little roses there. Sweet peas have gone over now. Another straw bed, raised bed. Hestia runner beans on the end there. A couple of condor potatoes in the middle. Black beef bush beans, BBRB, BBRB, VR. Black resilient bush beans, I'm picking those. They're ready to come now, so I'll have those. Right then. These bales are doing very, very well. These are the squash bales. I've had so many courgettes. That's Soleil. There's Rondini in the middle, which I think is just, oh no, there's a flower on it. I'm going to say just about packed up. There's flowers there. No. And this Albarero one on the end. They are massive. Lovely. Vivacious tomatoes on the end. I've picked a few of those. Look how big this vine's coming off this one here. These are more squashes, if I can get my list out. Squash types, I should say. Partial eclipse on the end. Cashaw in the middle. Let's go to the other side, be easier. Yeah, these are going mad. I thought I saw a fruit on that just now. There's one down there, look. Yeah. There's one right in there. Can you see him? He's in there somewhere anyway. That's the partial eclipse anyway. That's the Cashaw. Or is it Conganut? Another one there as well. And one there, big one on the end. That will be... Yeah, that's a Conganut, that one. There's a sweet potato in there, but that's not doing very well. And vivacious tomatoes there. Now, these beds, these are veg trugs. Nah, they're no good. Well, they may be good, but the summer we've had, or the spring and summer we've had, it's impossible to keep them watered. It really is. There's not enough bulk to them to stay wet, if you know what I mean. I mean, look, they're that wide, but they're only that wide there, you know, so there's no volume to them. They're only that wide. So I think they're going to be on Facebook Marketplace soon. Another bed. Peas have gone from here now, so I'll put a few brassicas in. Marrow in the middle, they're not doing very well. Mixed results with this one. Should be better next year when I cover it all over with compost. Another Dill's Atlantic Giant pumpkin. He's doing all right. That's the one Kyra planted, my granddaughter. A couple of lupins. This is a funny apple tree, this one. It's fruited once already. Then all the leaves fell off. Then the buds came back and flowered, and now it's fruiting again. And the leaves came back. Weird. Figs there. No, not figs, olives. Fig and olive. Olive tree there, figs there, little tiny one. Plums there, that may be fruiting next year. Californian poppies, dead apple tree there. Another apple tree, that one is Golden Delicious. Sorry, that's a cherry tree that's dead. No, it's not, it's an apple tree. Cherry trees amongst the Californian poppies. And all along the back there, we have red currants, white currants, and at the far end, mulberries. It's not too bad, is it? So there's a top view of the frog and toad plot. A little bit of work to do next year. Not quite sure what to do yet. I'm not sure if I'm going to put a pond in or not. There's so many ponds around. I don't feel like I need to, if you know what I mean. So, right then. That's it for this week, guys. Look after yourselves. Take care, and I'll catch you on the next video.